I'm going to be talking about the 7 signs that your child's confidence has reached rock bottom. How to recognize low confidence in your child. Basically, what is confidence and why does it matter? Why is it so important? Confidence is how much you believe in yourself, ultimately. The more confident you are, the more likely you are, or you will feel ready to face life's challenges. So let's get started. Welcome back to another Warrior Academy podcast. Today we are going to be talking about confidence, obviously one of the key pillars in the Warrior Academy program, alongside the other 2 C's. So the 3 C's are confidence, conduct, concentration. I'm going to be talking about the 7 signs that your child's confidence has reached rock bottom. How to recognize low confidence in your child, and basically what is confidence and why does it matter? Why is it so important? So let's get started. So first of all, what is confidence and why does it matter? Well, confidence is how much you believe in yourself, ultimately. The more confident you are, the more likely you are, or you will feel ready to face life's challenges. How you take up new opportunities and build new relationships. It's ultimately linked to your level of resilience as well. Are you able to overcome challenges? Because so much in life takes courage, and that is a huge aspect of confidence. Without confidence, you're less likely to make friends. You're less likely to build supportive relationships. You'll have this feeling of isolation as you grow up. Low confidence is, it often means you'll hold yourself back from trying new skills or taking on new adventures. Now, if you magnify that, compound that over the years, that means you're living in a smaller life than you could experience, which is such a shame. It's a waste of life to have low confidence, in my opinion. Less adventure, less experiences, that's what life's all about. So essentially, low confidence prevents you from reaching your full potential, which is exactly what we want for our children. We want to make sure they experience everything in life at their full potential. So it's incredibly important to have a good amount of self-confidence so that ultimately you can enjoy life to the full, that you can thrive from supportive relationships and discover everything that you're capable of. Without confidence and the ability to try new things, we can become alone, we can become anxious, we can become bored, and ultimately very unhappy. Nobody wants their child to have low confidence. So how can you recognize low confidence in children, and what are the things that you can do to help strengthen that? I would like to identify 7 signs of low confidence in children. 7 signs that your child has really reached rock bottom in confidence. 7 signals that you need to make a change drastically to make sure your child reaches their full potential, that you need to act now. So, low confidence in young people is not always obvious or displayed in a way you might expect. Sometimes low confidence can come across as anger, impatience, deceit, or even controlling behavior. So you may be at loss about why your young person is showing unusual emotions or acting out all of a sudden. Often that's down to the fact that children have a hard time recognizing their feelings, let alone understanding them and being able to express them clearly. So if your child is acting in a kind of unfavorable way, it could well be due to a lack of self-confidence. So try and look at this outside of the box, right? Your child might be acting up because of a deeper reason of low confidence, and that's what we're going to tap into now. So 7 signs of low confidence in children that you as a parent need to look out for. The first is aggression. So is your young person quick to lose their temper? Are they more angry than usual? Is anger and aggression, it's one of those things that it can be particularly frequent, or they might have frequent outbursts if they're lacking confidence. And that might seem to flare up out of nowhere, right? So, that is a very typical sign of low confidence, I believe. Children can find it difficult to understand the emotion that they're feeling. And anger is an outward expression of inner conflict and upset. Anger is often easier to express than vulnerability or shame. And that stems from confidence, low confidence. So a child who is struggling with their confidence, feeling frustrated about not being good enough, or even potentially having anxiety around a difficult task or occasion, will often, express it through anger. Now, it could be as simple as a challenging task to complete at school. The stress surrounding your child's feeling of not being good enough to complete that task can come out as aggression or anger towards you or towards others, other close family or friends, or even at school with the teacher. So always try to understand where your child's emotions are coming from. It's not always easy to stay calm and patient whilst your child rages, but if you can, you'll likely find a worried and upset child hidden beneath all that drama. Lying or cheating is the next up. So lying or cheating, if you've noticed your child is lying more often, or they've been caught cheating, then these kinds of deceitful behavior, whilst they're very worrying, are not usually long-term problems to be fraught over. Instead, take these kinds of behavior as a signal to you that your child is finding things difficult to deal with. So this is number 2 in the signs that you should look out for when it comes to low confidence. Deceitful behavior, lying or cheating. So children who lie often are just trying to impress. They may make up an elaborate story about a holiday you've never had, or exaggerate their achievements, and these are always attempts to make themselves appear great. And why is that? Because they feel the truth isn't good enough. They feel like potentially they lack the confidence to be themselves and tell the complete truth about their lives, as if their true lives aren't good enough for those around them because they lack the confidence. And the same is true for cheating. A child who cheats doesn't have the confidence to rely on their own ability. They've got a fear of failure, and they would rather act dishonestly than risk being a failure. They don't have the confidence in their mind to overcome failure. And so that fear leads to them cheating. So try not to scold your child over this, this sort of cheating or lying behavior. Instead, the best thing to do is to attempt to understand where your child is coming from, why they've lied. Why has your child lied? What's the root cause of their behavior? And ultimately, that's what all of this comes down to, trying to dig deeper into the circumstances, the emotions behind the actions, right? So encourage your child to be honest and open with you, and always remain calm. Don't be reactive in that situation when they do, go through something difficult where you've noticed them having this sort of lying or cheating or deceitful behavior. Remain calm and show them the right path. Explain to them that it's okay to fail and it's okay to be completely authentic and as they should be. And you'll find that does, over time, improve their confidence. Controlling and inflexible children who try to control everything or often struggle to adapt to changes are likely suffering with anxiety. And anxiety could be due to feeling like they can't cope. So change can often be difficult for anyone, but children who may not fully understand a situation or what is expected of them may try to dominate by being obstinate or refusing to cooperate. So if you find yourself in a battle of wills with your child, take note that your child may be suffering with a lack of confidence, not only in their ability to handle the situation, but also uncertainty about what to expect from others. Try to remain empathetic and compassionate towards your young person, no matter how difficult they become. Attempt to reassure them and alleviate fears that they may have, and provide them with as much information as possible about what to expect and what you expect of them. And I think when you set expectations, you eliminate that fear and that anxiety drops. This can really provide them with that stability that they feel they need. And when they're feeling unsettled and inadequate, explaining expectations alleviates that fear. Just a quick shout out to the guys at Shield who manage this podcast, come up with the strategy behind the podcast, help me schedule interviews, as well as do all of the editing and the producing of the podcast. Without them, we wouldn't be able to produce this podcast. If you would like to create your own podcast, I can't recommend the Shield team enough. They have done well over 100 episodes for me over the last few years, and I've been so pleased with the results. So have a look in the description of this video or the podcast episode, and you'll see how to get in touch with them yourself. The next sign of low confidence is avoiding or quitting. So if your child is reluctant to try new things, or they quit very early on, then this is a sign of low confidence. So it could be because they lack the confidence to give something new a go, or to actually see it through completely. And that's often because they're worried about their ability to take part, to meet new people or to meet others' expectations. So encourage your kids to try new things and support them when they feel like giving up. Tell them about your own challenges and how you saw through. Tell stories from your own experiences. It makes such a massive impact. Show them in your own life that you're willing to do the hard things and try new challenges. If they see you putting yourself forward, even when you're unsure, and witness your achievements from doing the hard things, they'll likely follow suit. The next sign is that they are self-critical. So does your child frequently put themselves down? Are they self-critical even if they're doing it in a jokey way? Do they clearly have negative self-talk, or they kind of make fun of themselves when they're talking? Even if they're doing it for fun, they're being self-critical. And that's actually a sign of low confidence in a lot of cases. Your young person may find it difficult to receive a compliment or be very quick to point out their flaws. And this is a tactic often used to cover up low self-esteem for fear that someone else might do it for them otherwise. They're basically preempting the strike, and they're kind of neutralizing a potential future threat. By saying themselves that, or making fun of themselves, someone else's words, saying the same thing has less of an impact. So if your child seems to be developing a habit of self-criticism, reframe their comment. So, an example of that is your child might say, "I'm so stupid." Now, that could be met with, "You're not stupid, you're learning, and we never stop learning." So these kind of supportive comments can be enough to change your child's train of thought and derail a habit of self-criticism. We've always got this element of self-thought going on. We've always got a coach or a trainer in our head, I like to call it, and so we're always listening to a voice. And often, if we don't fix this self-talk early on, then the person who's training your child as they grow older can often be a negative voice. So as a parent, notice when they're doing that and try and fix it, try and correct it. The next sign or symptom for low confidence is excuses and blame. Does your child find it difficult to take responsibility for themselves? Are they likely to make excuses or blame others when things go wrong? They're probably afraid to admit their failings because of how they'll feel about themselves. And how they feel others will essentially view them. So it's not easy for anyone to admit they're wrong, even as adults. So the best way to do this is to try to model it for your young people. In lots of my podcasts, I talk about modeling behavior because they copy everything you do. Admit your mistakes as a parent and apologize when you need to. Be ready to listen to your child when they make mistakes. Try to understand their point of view and provide a non-judgmental space for them to be vulnerable about their misgivings, about their failings, about things that they've slipped up on. If they're worried about something, they'll find that they can speak to you about it. They're more likely to be able to see their weaknesses as well as their strengths and feel more confident about themselves as a whole person, rather than lack confidence over the mishaps they've had. And they'll be, more likely to look at themselves honestly, and more willing to improve upon themselves. The next sign or symptom of a child with low confidence is probably more obvious, and that is a lack of friendships. So does your child struggle to make or maintain friendships? It's really important that we teach our young people to socialize, because they've got to be able to go out there and develop friendships, develop rapport, and be socially agreeable so that they can build a healthy life as they grow older. Life as a human is all about relationships, and it's important that young people learn how to do that so that they can experience a more happy life. That's a reality. In this sort of situation, if your child is struggling with that, they could be anxious about approaching new people, and that can be due to a lack of confidence. They might think that no one wants to talk to them or be their friend, and so they won't even try because they want to avoid that. Any attempt would be seen as a rejection and damage their confidence further, so they avoid it. They might not ask friends to spend time with them, or they'll avoid social groups or social circles entirely. Avoid trying new things. So it's a good idea to practice social skills at home by encouraging healthy conversations and spending time with wider family and friends. And so ultimately, when you do that, it will help your child develop the skills that will give them confidence in a social circle. As they go out and meet new people, they'll understand that they can do that, and that has a knock-on effect on their confidence. They'll know and appreciate the fact that they are a confident person. So always encourage your child to speak their mind, provide space for their opinions, and allow opportunities to witness friendly debate. I think your child will feel valuable and feel as though they can provide value and start to believe that others want to know what they have to say. So help your child be more confident. often confidence is rarely shown in obvious ways, like I've spoken about. Lack of confidence is often not shown in obvious ways, but a confident child may seem as boastful. It could be that they even come across aggressive and dominant, and very, very sure of themselves. But often or not, that often can be a sign of lacking confidence rather than having confidence. Your child's actions speak volumes. Their behavior will always tell you what's going on within. A confident child will take everything in their stride. They'll be kind to others and say yes to new adventures. They'll offer a hand of friendship and be capable of speaking honestly about their mistakes without them feeling that they're going to get rejected for doing it. So be the example for your children and always look out for the hidden reason behind their difficult behavior. There's always a deeper meaning to our actions. They're trying to tell you that they may have an unmet need, and you have the important job as a parent to truly listen. I hope you enjoyed today's episode on developing your child's confidence, but understanding what the 7 typical signs of low confidence are. Obviously, your child may not have all 7. They might have 1 or 2, but they are signals for you as a parent to start developing and working on their confidence. I hope that I've managed to link those signs and symptoms with some practical advice that you can implement at home as well. If you've enjoyed this podcast, then I really hope that you would click subscribe, like and share this video so that more parents can see what we're up to and start to align themselves with developing their child's character. If you would like to have a deeper insight as well into your child's level of confidence, go to breakthrougharea.com and you'll be able to do a breakthrough area assessment, and you'll get a score for your child's confidence as well as their conduct and concentration, which will then work as a kind of benchmark and give you a bit of a compass as a parent on what you need to work on. So that's all from me. Until next time, see you later. I really hope you enjoyed today's Warrior Academy podcast episode. We're going to keep creating these episodes because I know that so many parents find them useful or get insights or get ideas about how to develop their child's character. But it all comes down to the 3 C's: confidence, conduct, and concentration. So if you want to get a deep insight into the levels of confidence your child has, the level of concentration they have, or the level of conduct they have, so that you can actually put a score next to it and then work towards increasing those scores like we do in the Warrior Academy, then I'd love to invite you to fill in the Breakthrough Area Assessment. It takes about 5 minutes of your time, and you will get a personalized PDF report on your child's 3 C's. To access the Breakthrough Area Assessment and find out your child's 3 C's score, all you need to do is go to www.breakthrougharea.com.